Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to another episode of Yugioh Online Ranked Duels. Today is episode number 71, second episode of Season 2. I don't know if I'm really going to call this a Season 2 or not, or just carry on the series as it has been. But this week I am trying something a little bit adventurous. I am trying to build a turtle deck. There really aren't, well, there are quite a few turtle cards, but there really isn't a turtle archetype in this deck, as so to speak. So I'm really just trying to take a whole bunch of random cards and throw them together and see if I can win a game or two with them. The reason why I'm doing this is because there is a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie out this week. Mutants in Manhattan, you got Bebop, you got Rocksteady, you got Shredder. I'm hoping Krang might be in it, and the Technodrome. I think the Technodrome is in it, and maybe Krang, I think he is in it too. And so I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing it, even though it's directed by Michael Bay. And I'm not a big fan of Michael Bay. But, yeah, you know, just to see TMNT back in the spotlight is really I've been watching through a lot of older stuff recently while making resources to make this video. As you can probably hear, I'm using the Super Nintendo Turtles in Time soundtrack for this video, which was pretty much one of the best Turtles beat-em-ups way back from the 90s. Great stuff there, and Turtles, you know, really is a great franchise. They've had some fantastic stuff. They had some really rough stuff. Go check out the Turtles anime from Japan if you want to see some really rough Turtles stuff. Oh god. But there's some really cool stuff like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2007 movie. I really liked that CG movie, but it didn't really do that well. I thought it was a real shame because you had voice actors in there like James Arnold Taylor, who did Tidus from Final Fantasy X, and I just thought it was really good. Anyway, let me start doing some commentary about this game. This deck is now, I've changed this deck quite a bit since the last episode. I've taken out a lot of those floater monsters. I really hate that term, floaters, like UFO Turtle and Pyramid Turtle, because they're just a little bit slow and they didn't really have any synergy together. And basically what I'm really just trying to focus on is mostly using whatever reptile support cards I had in this deck, and then doing lots of XE summoning. And the way I'm doing this mostly is by using a card named Kage Tokage, which is a card that special summons itself when a level 4 monster is normal summoned to your field. And being that it's a reptile means I can search it out using a card called King of the Pharaoh Imps, which when you detach one, you can add one reptile from your deck to your hand. As you can see, my opponent is playing Satellerknights. Been a little while since I played Satellerknight because they're not really that popular right now in the current format. They got hit quite hard in a few formats ago, and now they're really not that popular, even though I still think they're probably viable. But a lot of people aren't playing Satellerknights, which is crazy because Satellerknights are really good in my opinion, and at least someone is still trying to give it a try. So we've got Avenator here, and what Avenator is trying to do is he is trying to play a card called Satellerknight Starlight Road, Satellerknight Skybridge. That was going to basically special summon a Satellerknight with a different name from his deck to the field, and then shuffle the one that's on his field back into his deck. Satellerknights are really good at generating quick forwards and advantage. Whenever they hit the field or they're summoned, they usually gain some kind of advantage, whether it is adding a card from their deck to the hand, sending a card from the deck to the graveyard, special summoning from the graveyard, special summoning from the hand. Satellerknights are really good at just bringing out lots of monsters. Unfortunately, I have cards like Vanity's Emptiness and Fiendish Chain on the field, which are helping me to keep my opponent at bay, and that's going to be really key for me to kind of keep some pressure on him. So now I'm detaching from King of the Pharaoh Imps. I'm going to search out another monster, but my opponent is going to respond with Stellar Nova Alpha, a counter trap which while a Satellerknight is on the field, it can negate the activation of any card basically and destroy it, and then they are allowed to draw one card. Now, because I've lost King of the Pharaoh Imps and a card has been sent from my field to the graveyard, I'm going to lose Vanity's Emptiness. That's going to get sent to the graveyard, but I am going to bring out Jar Turtle. The reason why I'm running Jar Turtle in this deck is because he has an effect which buffs up Jar of Greed, and that is anytime Jar of Greed is used, you get to draw an extra card. Unfortunately, I drew straight into another Kage Tokage and another Reptilian Gardener, which is going to let me do some special summoning this turn. However, I decided to play a Lure of Darkness to draw more cards, banishing Kage Tokage, and now I'm going to play Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality so that search the top 3 cards of my deck, which are Snatch Steel, Offerings of the Snake Deity, and Bottomless Trap Hole. Did I read that right? I think I read more cards than I actually did. No, it was an offering there. I don't know why I said offering, huh? It's Snatch Steel, Bottomless Trap Hole, or Phoenix Chain. I'm saying offering because offering is face down on my field, that's why I saw it. So I added Phoenix Chain for my deck to my hand because I think my opponents are probably going to summon next turn, and they're probably going to try to activate an effect, and I want to stop that straight away. So Phoenix Chain could be really good for doing that. Although they're gonna know that I have Phoenix Chain on the field, so let's see how they play it out. I'm gonna put Phoenix Chain down, put Creature Swap in my hand, and Reptilian Garner. I'm gonna set Creature Swap just as a bluff, see if I can bait out an MST or something that, I don't know, maybe keep him guessing or try to make him hesitate to summon a monster. We'll see what happens. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying this deck. It's fun to play a random deck like this, and it's nice to see when it works, although it doesn't really work that well. It is still pretty slow. Reptiles really don't have a whole lot of support unless you're playing worms or reptilians, but even then they're not that amazing. But I'm doing what I can with it. So my opponent is going to try to attack Jar Turtle with Satellerknight Regal. If I recall correctly, Satellerknight Regal could just buff his attack. So what I'm assuming here is, my opponent basically just wants to bait out Phoenix Chain by attacking it and hoping that I protect my monster, which he's right, I was going to do. He might play a card now, and yes, it's going to be Satellerknight Skybridge, which is going to send that card back to the deck, especially summon another one. The reason why I wanted to play Phoenix Chain there wasn't really because I wanted to stop the attack, but it's because I wanted to keep a level 4 on my field so I can do some more XE summoning the next turn. However, that's really not going to happen now, and now that Satellerknight Osama's on the field, he's just going to be able to destroy my turtle, and I'm not really going to be able to make do with anything of that. But that's okay, we are not out of the woods yet. We can still make some stuff happen here. So I'm going to lose 1200 life points from that battle, and now I'm going to go into my opponent's going to go into the end phase and turn over to me. Managed to draw into Pot of Duality. I'm going to play it now because I really don't have any options right now, and Pot of Duality is really good for searching your deck. If you're running a slow deck like this one, it is a really good way to just kind of get through your deck and search out your options. Although Pot of Duality really isn't used that much anymore because decks are just so fast these days that having a effect which stops you from special summoning is really a bit of a downside. But when you aren't special summoning as much as say as some other decks, then it is a really good card to have around. Okay, so I managed to take out another Kage to Kage, which means I can do a rank 4 summon in my next turn. I could have set down Reptilian Garner maybe in defense position. In fact, it probably wouldn't have been too bad to do so since he has an effect which activates when destroyed. But I'm not going to risk it, I am going to just keep him in my hand. I will rather take the damage and be able to rank 4 next turn, as opposed to not being able to at all and losing a card in the process. So my opponent has summoned another Satellerknight on the field, and now they're both going to do a bit of damage to me, leaving me with 3,300 life points. Not going to be able to do too much there. Drew into Compulsory Evacuation Device, and now I'm going to go straight for a rank 4 summon. First Garner will hit the field, and then now Kage to Kage will hit the field. And this is gonna, now I wonder what I should summon at this point. Is obviously I've got a whole extra deck full of options, but I think going for more advantage would just be the best thing to do. So I'm probably gonna go for King of the Pharaoh Imps and just keep on trying to get +1s for that. But now I decided, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm noticing that my opponent isn't actually leaving any back row on the field, which makes me wonder maybe he has some kind of hand trap, particularly a card called Honest. Honest is a card which, when discarded from your hand to the graveyard, can increase the attack of your monster if it is a light monster by the attack of the monster that's attacking it. And I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to run right into it if I attack one of my opponent's monsters. So I'm going to use Creature Swap, give away one of my weak monsters to my opponent, which is going to be Reptilian Garner, and then I'm going to King of Now I should be able to attack Reptilian Garner safely without having to worry about Honest if my opponent has it in his or her hand. Probably not, but you know, you don't want to risk it because a single Honest can really turn the tide of a duel and just kind of all go against you. King of the Pharaoh Imps is going to detach Kage to Kage, and now I'm going to search my deck for another monster. I'm going to go grab a Jar Turtle. Jar Turtle is going to get added to my hand, and then I'm now going to attack it Reptilian Gardener. Now, if I recall correctly, Reptilian Gardener should activate from this attack. So I'm going to attack into him. He has 0 attack, so this is going to do 2300 damage to my opponent as well. And I'm hoping Reptilian Gardener is going to activate. No, he didn't activate. I guess it's can't remember off the top of my head how it works. Is it just by being destroyed by a card effect maybe? Who knows? Or maybe it has to be in your control when it's destroyed. Okay, so over to Aevenator again. He summons out Uncle High. Uncle High is going to be able to send one Satellerknight card from their opponent's deck to the graveyard. Really setting up plays for such as Altair, which is going to be able to bring it back. I've played Satellerknights on this channel before. I used a build by none other than Rival619, who used to run a Satellerknight on his own channel. And if you can search that on my channel, if you want to see really a better build for you that can see the Duelist of Satellerknights. This one isn't bad per se, but there are more efficient ways, and there are some cards which Satellerknights have are just not as good as other cards, and taking advantage of effects more like Altair and Uncle High and I think the Neb as well are really the way to go, as opposed to some of the other ones which kind of just buff their monsters or do burn damage to the opponent. They're less useful in my opinion. Anyway, straight into my turn now, and I'm going to play King of the Pharaoh Imps again. Attach, is it Capella or something like that? And then I'm going to add another turtle from my deck to my hand, 2 copies of Jar Turtle now. And really I'm just going to attack my opponent and do some damage. At this point I don't mind if my King of the Pharaoh Imps runs into Honest. Oh, why am I summoning? That's strange. Huh. Oh, I know why I'm summoning. I'm going to summon Jar Turtle because I'm going to use Offering to the Snake Deity. Offering to the Snake Deity allows me to destroy 3 cards in the field. It has to be 1 reptile monster I control and 2 cards my opponent controls. And that way his field is now wide and clear. And that way if I was gonna run to Honest, that is no longer a threat. So King of the Pharaoh Imps is going to attack directly, and this could do a nice bit of damage. So yeah, guys, let me know what your views are on TMNT. Are you guys excited for the new movie coming out? I know, well, I don't really know how popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are these days. But I think they do a good job of kind of maintaining their popularity and rebooting themselves again and again. I hear the Nickelodeon show was actually pretty damn good, and they also did this. It's been a while since I've seen this, but they also did a TMNT anniversary movie a couple of years back, where they had all the Teenage Mutant Turtles of different ages past and different comics and whatnot all come together in one single movie. And that movie was pretty damn cool. That was pretty good. You had the TMNT guys from like the 2000s with the TMNT guys from the 90s, and it was a really, really good crossover movie. It was just an homage to the history of that franchise. But yeah, I used to love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was growing up. I must admit, I did like Leo quite a bit. Leonardo was my favourite. You know, 2 swords. Who doesn't like a good sword? Although growing up, I think I come to respect Raphael more. And let's see what's going on in the field here. My opponent has special summoned a whole bunch of monsters in one turn, which means he's probably going to do an XC summon. There's a monster called Capella on the field, which allows all Satellerknights on the field to be treated as rank 5s. Level 5s, and which is really good for a rank 5 summon. So he might XC summon into that. I'm a little bit worried about that because some of the Satellerknights are really strong. And here's one of the strong ones now. This is Satellerknight Trevere. Trevere has an effect where when it is XC summoned, it returns all cards on the field back to their opponent's their owner's hand. That's really, really bad for me. But at least I get Phoenix Chain back. However, I'm going to actually stop that effect for now, and I'm going to, well, I'm not going to stop the effect, but I am going to respond with Compulsory Evacuation device to get rid of that monster, and leave my opponent with just 1 card. He's probably not going to like that very much, and as you can see, he decides to Rage Quit. Sorry about the Rage Quit, guys, but hopefully you enjoyed the episode here. I'm probably going to do one more video on this, and then I think I've kind of done what I could with this deck here. And if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see next, please feel free to make a suggestion. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Yugioh Online Ranked Duels. I will see you next time. Peace.